Welcome back to Jebus Gaming, guys, and today we're doing something a little different. So I get asked all the time, multiple times a day, what are some tips on dumpster diving? I've never tried it before. I want to do it, but I'm scared. Things like that. I get those kind of questions all the time, so I decided to make a short little video giving you guys some tips and some beginner lessons, I guess you could say, on how to dumpster dive and how to do it right. There is a science to this, and I'm not joking. So let's go ahead and go into some few tips. Number one, I'm going to say you got to know the legality. And if you're in the United States, I can tell you it is legal. Federally, it's legal. So there's a court case, and this is what I get from it. I'm going to read you this little paragraph you see on the screen. Dumpster diving is legal in the United States except where prohibited by local regulation. So what this means is federally, it's legal. So if there's not a local regulation like a small city or town, you're good to go. In most places, I would probably guess 95 to 99% of the United States do not have a regulation against it. I just said that weird. But anyway, the best way to find this out is call your police station and ask a weird question that basically gets your answer. That's what we did when we first started. We were at a GameStop and saw them throwing out a TV. We had called the police station and said, we just saw a store throw out a TV. If we got it out of the dumpster, would that be fine? And they basically told us exactly what this paragraph says. Once something's on the curb or once it's in a dumpster, it's public domain. You're free to touch it and free to take it because obviously if it's in the dumpster, they no longer want it. Of course, if you're not in the United States, I don't know your laws. You're going to have to call your police or whoever is in charge in your country. So you do that. But if you're in the U.S., there's a huge chance you're good to go. The next tip is you have to look for signs. And mostly what I mean by this are no trespassing signs. So while it is legal to dumpster dive in the United States, if there's a sign saying no trespassing, you are 100% breaking the law if you're dumpster diving there. So you're taking a big risk. You can get fined. I've heard people getting up to $500 fines, and you can even get small jail sentences for like a day or two. So make sure you check the area out. Make sure there are no trespassing signs. If you see that, don't go to it. And there's also some other signs. I've seen signs that say like no scavenging, absolutely no loitering behind, just loitering, just standing around. So if you're dumpster diving and you see a no loitering sign, you're good to go. Also, if you go to dumpster diving and you see a sign that says dumpster for tenant use only, we have talked to the police about this. All this means is that you are not allowed to throw your trash in there. It means that only the store is allowed to throw their trash in there. It's not a sign saying that you can't dumpster dive. You can't take stuff out. It's just telling you you can't throw your own trash in the dumpster. So that was one of the things that threw me off when I first started. So if you were ever seeing those and wondering about it, that's all that means. It has nothing to do with dumpster diving. Number three, another tip I'm going to say is make sure you come after closing. A lot of people do dumpster dive during the day, but I can't do that. It's just really awkward. The employees are there, customers are there, and it's just really weird. The general rule of thumb a lot of people go by is to go an hour after closing because the employees will stay in there for a little while. What they're doing, I have no idea. But they will stay in there and just stand at the counter doing nothing, it looks like for me, at least from the outside. But usually most employees are gone about an hour after closing. And before we check a dumpster, we always drive past the store, slowly creepy looking, just to look in there. And if I see employees in there, there's two things I'm thinking. One, they might come out and catch me, and two, they probably haven't thrown anything away yet. They'll probably throw out as they leave. That's what I usually see. Right before they go to their car to go home, they just throw out the bag in the dumpster and then leave. So if you're checking dumpsters daily, you might not get anything because they haven't thrown it out yet. And two, even though if they catch you, it's not like you can get in legal trouble, but stores like GameStop, if they see people dumpster diving in their dumpsters, they will sit there and break the CDs, cut the wires, and destroy the stuff they're throwing in the trash. So that's why you don't want to get caught by employees. It's not that you can get in legal trouble, it's just that you could lose your dumpster diving spot for good because they will start destroying things. So come after, go by the store, make sure you don't see anybody in there, and then go do what you got to do. Next thing, one of my biggest pet peeves in dumpster diving is to not make a mess and clean up after yourself. Like, that should be something you're taught as a child, but some people don't get it. If you're going to dumpster dive, the best way to do it, it's the way I do it and a lot of other people do it, is to just take your bags home. Look at them, feel them, look at them from the outside, look in there. Does it look like it's worth taking? Like sometimes you might see a bag, it's just full of paper, tissues, paper towels, that kind of thing. You don't have a need for those. Feel it, check the weight. A lot of people do like a weight test, like Speedy Diver said that. Do a weight test on the bag. Exactly. If it's not that heavy, you know it's probably not worth taking. There's probably nothing in there but paper. But if you're going to open them up at the dumpster, which a lot of people do, and there's no problem with that, what, just make sure you're throwing the trash back in there. I've seen people, look at some of my other videos, take all the bags out of the dumpster, open them up in the parking lot, and just leave a giant mess around the dumpster. That's going to do quite a few things. One, that's called littering. You can get in legal trouble for it. Two, you're going to get the store employees mad, the security mad. All of those people are going to get really angry with you, which is going to lead to enhanced security. It can lead to locked dumpsters, no trespassing signs, or security and police watching that place like a hawk. But most of the time what it'll lead to is all the dumpsters being chain locked and you won't be able to get into them anymore. So make sure you do not make a mess. Like I said, the best way to do it is just take the bags that interest you, throw them in your car, and go home and go through them, and just throw the trash out of your house or apartment, wherever you live. That way, you're there for the shortest amount of time, you have the least amount of time actually being seen or caught, and you don't make any mess. You don't accidentally leave anything behind. So taking the bags home is the best way to do it, and it's definitely what I would recommend. Number one is dealing with security and police. So let me say this. Why the security guards do not have any legal power over you, you don't want to be like disrespectful and like, I can do this all I want. If they tell you to leave, leave. Even though they're not cops, they can call the cops, and their job is to make sure that shopping center, that store, whatever they're doing is secure. So if they tell you to leave and you don't leave, then you can face legal trouble. That's another thing that the police have told us. Once a security guard or an employee, if anyone comes out and says you shouldn't be doing that, leave, just be respectful. Say, okay, sorry, leave. Because if you don't, most likely they're going to contact the police and they're going to be like, this is private property, we told this individual to leave, he did not leave, and therefore you get a trespassing charge. So if you're told to leave, leave. Don't argue, don't try to be a big dog, I can do what I want, no, you can't kick me out here, this is legal. You're just going to give all the other dumpster divers a bad name, you're just going to get yourself into legal trouble. So don't be stupid, just use common sense, say, okay, I'm sorry, walk away. Anything you can find in the dumpster is not worth getting in legal trouble. It's really not. You're not finding millions of dollars, you're finding little cool things, don't get me wrong, lots of cool things, but it's not worth a legal record. So don't be stupid. If they tell you to leave, turn around and leave. Put your tail in between your legs, and you know what I mean, and just walk away. It's the best way to do it. Anyway, those are the easiest and quickest tips I can think of when it comes to dumpster diving. If you try these things, it will get easier. And trust me, it's natural when you're first going, you're gonna be nervous. I was scared crapless when I first started. I would get out, and I'd hear a freaking piece of paper blow in the wind. I'd be in my car so fast, you would think I'm like a superhero robbing a store. It's gonna be scary, but the more you do it, the easier it becomes, and if it gets to the point where it's just natural and you just don't care no more. That's another thing you really got to get through, is just not caring what other people think. If it's an employee, if it's security, if it's the police, don't do it. But if it's just some random guy in a parking lot, I don't care what he thinks. I'm gonna dumpster dive. He looks at me and goes like, wow, he's so weird. I don't care. Their opinion's not hurting me in any way. It doesn't matter. You gotta just not care about what anybody else thinks. So if you just take these small tips into consideration, I guarantee you dumpster diving will be really easy, and you could definitely make money. You can find all kinds of useful things. You can find stuff to donate to places. You can do a lot of good from dumpster diving and just save so much stuff from going to waste. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching the video. If you have any more questions about dumpster diving, just let me know in the comments. I've been doing this for a lot of years, so I would almost consider myself a professional dumpster diver if that exists. So let me know in the comments if you have any other questions. I think I covered everything I could think of, everything that's affected me while doing it, but I'm pretty sure there's more laws out there, so let me know if you have any more questions. Thank you for watching the videos. Make sure you hit that subscribe button for awesome dumpster diving videos every single day. Leave this video a big fat thumbs up if it's helped you out. And until next time, peace out.